Gave people an opportunity to vent their frustration. So rather than looking for something to do destructive, running out on the street, breaking into homes or setting things on fire, just being out in the streets in general, trying to see what's going on and be a part of the crowd. They were at home or at work or wherever they were, sitting by the telephone and the radio, trying to get on. Everybody wants to be on the radio. And here was an opportunity for you, no matter how intelligent or politically active you were, to voice your opinion, to say something, and to vent your frustrations. And I think it kept a lot of people in and away from what was going on outside.
12:24, 24 minutes after midnight. It's a brand new day, but the same thing is going on. This is a special edition of Front Page. We're trying to give you an outlet, a way to vent your frustrations and your feelings over the radio instead of going out and looting in the streets. Above all, I don't know if we can emphasize this enough. Please stay out of the streets.
I remember getting different calls from all over the city from people. Because you got to remember now, there were lights out, there was no power. People were listening. One guy called and he was scared. He was listening to us on his transistor radio in his closet. And he said, that's the only thing that's keeping my sanity.
I'm actually living a little north of all of this. I'm up off of Olympic, and I can smell the fires. And I know that I'm not the only one who feels helpless. But I can say that, we do have something that we can do. We can look inside of ourselves, not at just our neighborhoods. When I drive down the street at 9 o'clock at night and I see a 12-year-old child out there riding around on their bicycle, there is something very seriously wrong. That child should be at home doing their homework so that they can get into colleges on their merits and not on affirmative action. And we need to get ourselves together as a community, because when we have our own stuff together, the cops will not have an excuse to come into our neighborhoods and bust heads together.
We did not go back to regular program. We were discussing these issues. We weren't even playing commercials. It was, for that matter, if you look at it from a financial standpoint, we were losing money. We said, no, our community is much more important than playing a few commercials, because we say in our slogan that we are you. So whatever the pain that's going through our community goes through us too. And if we don't have a community, we don't have a radio station. And we made that perfectly clear. And I think the people understand this.
The National Guard is on the way. The governor and the mayor have declared it in a state of emergency. It's best to stay inside, really. I mean, all the news and information you need, we'll give it to you over the radio. We'll give you an opportunity to talk. It's on television. If you have to turn to television, it's wild outside. People do not have your safety and your best interest to heart.
Especially with the National Guard coming, and we don't know when, where, and how they are coming.
And we don't want to see anybody get hurt. KJLH, good morning. You are on the special edition of Front Page. What is your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Taikisha, and I'm calling from Los Angeles. I just want to say I can't understand all of this. I mean, we're destroying our own neighborhoods, and we think we're sending them a message, and we're really not. And if we want to, we should start voting. I mean, I'm 16, and I wish I could go out and vote. I'm
glad to hear you say that, too, just a couple of years away. You've got to get out and vote. Register to vote. You have until May the 4th, which is Monday, to register and vote. That's how you make a difference.
I think one of the things is that the people decided that, you have to work within the system. You have to register to vote. And if we want justice, we can't expect anybody else to give us justice. We have to do our civic duty. I think one of the things that they learned from this, through the radio station, through what happened, we have to sit on these juries. So that's one of the good things, one of the changes that came out. The people now registering to vote and decide, hey, they can register to vote, because we talked about so many black male and female folks sitting in jails right now that have probably been there like Rodney King, convicted of all white juries, just because some of us who made a difference did not go and sit on those juries, whether they were guilty or innocent.
1023 KJLH Compton, Los Angeles. And the Front Page continues. It's a very, very special edition of the Front Page for obvious reasons. If you live in Los Angeles, you got to know what's going on. It's really, really, really a heavy-duty thing. This is J.J. Johnson. Chris Lewis is standing by in here with me. I guess you're going to be here till you leave.
Yeah, you got to drag me out of here, man.
Whenever that is. Apparently, National Guard members are arriving at armories as we speak. Curfew has been imposed going from dusk to dawn. For your information, gasoline sales are being banned unless it's for consumption by the vehicle you arrive in at the gas station, which I think at this point is a pretty smart move. 6 count them, 6 fires are reported to be underway in the Westwood area. Now, there's a surprise.
Right.
And in South L.A., electric power is out in various areas, and problem with phone service continues. Now, as far as phone service goes, stay off of 911 if you possibly can, unless it's an absolute dire emergency.
Also, 411 is another problem they don't want you to call.
As of 11:30 tonight, 3 known dead. 1 from gunshot wounds, 1 from falling out of a car. I'm not quite sure about the other one. I think by now everyone knows about the truck driver who was pulled from his rig at Florence and Normandy. That was hours ago.
He was killed? This guy was killed?
I'm not sure if the truck driver is one of the 3 or not. A firefighter was shot in the face. He was also in surgery as of 11:30. I don't know what his situation is right now. And Daniel Freeman Hospital in Inglewood reported that its emergency room was overloaded, which is of absolutely no surprise.
I've got a bulletin here from the California Highway Patrol, and it says because of the emergency situation that followed the verdicts in the Rodney King beating case, the California Highway Patrol is urging motorists to avoid traveling through the Los Angeles metropolitan area until further notice.
Let me ask you something, Carl. When the National Guard comes in, are they going to, is that curfew apply to cars as well? If you're driving your car, you're going to be stopped and asked to...
I don't know how they do it now, but like I said, Greg and myself, in the 60s, what they did was they carted out the city in terms of, unless you have a legitimate excuse as to where you're going, I mean, you can be arrested. It's like martial law.
Right, all your rights are gone.
All your rights are definitely taken away from you. And when they come in with a force, and they could care less. So that's why it's very, very important for people to get off the streets and go home.
What you were getting on the news stations just from the helicopters flying over and the police reports, in my opinion, wasn't necessarily accurate. It was just, well, they're looting, they're rioting, they're doing this, they're doing that. And it wasn't really a one-on-one bird's-eye report or view of what was actually happening. We had that because we were sitting there looking out the window, looking at things unfold right in front of us.
Does anyone feel that there was an element of a self-fulfilling prophecy here with all the talk on the media over the past few days about a potential riot?
You know, the thing that really stunned me is that, I don't know if anyone else saw this, but a lot of these stations were actually going up to people's homes on their porches and asking them directly, will you riot?
Will you?
If the Rodney King isn't in your favor, if the verdict is in your favor. And someone's going to say, well, that's not even in my mind, because it's not something that someone's just going to think of doing. When you look out, you see ordinary people, ordinary kids. It was built up, and like you say, Jay, almost a prophetic type of ideal that was going on.